Well, hello, welcome back to my kitchen. Today we're going to do a really easy one. We're going to make a taco lasagna. I'm going to put my spin on it as I always do. You can put your spin on it. So without further ado, let's get it, let's go. Let's hit those pots, come on. Here's what you're going to need for this taco lasagna. I'm going to stretch it because I have more people to feed, and that's why the beef broth is out and the rice. You don't need this if you're a small family. There's other ways you could zhuzh it up along the way, and I'll let you know what they are as we go. But for me, I'm going to be feeding 9 people tonight, so I need that to stretch. So therefore, and that's instant rice, that's not long grain rice. It's a cup of rice, and that's all it is. Here's what you're gonna need. You're gonna need some salsa, cheese. I'm using 2 pounds of ground turkey, beef broth. If you're gonna stretch it like me, you're gonna need some rice, some taco seasoning. I either make my own or I buy massive jars of it, and some tortilla shells. I have the medium size. I say use what you got, cut it, rip it, tear it, do whatever you got, or just layer it differently if you have small ones. First thing we're gonna do is start browning up that ground turkey or ground beef, whatever meat you choose, or pretend meat. I forgot to mention, as always, I cook a dairy-free version, and as always, my new favorite, at least lately, is the Dary cheddar. Hold on, let me move this back. The Dary cheddar, and then I'm going to use the Dary Mexican blend for him. So that's what I'm using. It's a little bit expensive, but it's the best we found so far. Here goes the dried up cord I have. I'm going to use it before it's completely gone. I'm going to put that in some water. My family puts a little pinch of sugar and milk in it. I can't do the milk because of Eric, but I will put a pinch of sugar in the water. Makes the cord just a little bit sweeter. And like I said, these are so dried out, I have to use it today, or I fear it will not be here tomorrow or be able to use it tomorrow. And that's how I stretch 4 ears of corn. I broke it down into thirds. I forgot to mention, for Eric's meal, I had to cook extra meat because it just wouldn't be enough to try and spread that across 2 dishes. A lot of times I do. If I don't, I let you guys know, but it's usually rare that I do that. So what I'm going to use for him is I have a pack of this taco seasoned ground turkey. You could use that as well. If you're short on funds, you don't have to get any taco seasoning, just use that. But that's not for us, that's for Eric. Let's get to browning. Okay, add ours for the family. That's a 1. And number 2 here. Sorry if you hear the guy mowing my neighbor's lawn. It seems he just decided to show up right as I started cooking. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to mash this up. You see how he's mashing Eric's? And then brown it up. Okay, that's all browned up. I'll mash it down some more a little bit. I'm going to deglaze the pan a little bit with a cup of beef broth. Okay, cup of beef broth. And then we're going to add the rice. If you're not going to try and stretch it like I am, you don't necessarily have to do this. You could do it if you only have 1 pound of ground meat and you don't have 2. That'd be another reason. You can also use black beans, pinto beans, things like that. Probably should have toasted it before I did that, but okay. And I'm going to keep an eye on it because if I need to, I will add more beef broth. probably will need just a little bit more than what I got in the pan, but we'll see how it goes. Before we do that, I'm adding added the equivalent of a package of taco seasoning. You could add 2, but I'm going to add some taco sauce also, so I don't really need to do that. Okay, so I'm going to let this simmer for a little bit and let the rice get ready. I guess I don't know what the word is I'm looking for. Just mix it well and put the cover on it. Ouch, I just burnt myself. And I'm going to do the same thing to Eric's. And for those who don't know, Eric is allergic to dairy, so I have to make some of his food separate from ours. All right, let's give that a few minutes to start absorbing the liquids. Put a lid on it. Alrighty. Just want to give it a little stir and see what's going on in there. We're getting there. It's instant rice that I used. If it wasn't instant rice, I would have used more liquid. All right, just going to give that another minute to let the rice finish softening up, and then we're going to start assembling. I had to let that sit for a minute while I assembled Eric's. Okay. I'm going to add a jar of salsa to this. I had to use some for Eric, so I had to open up another jar. I forgot I was making 2, so I'll open another jar to make up the difference. Let's just give it a stir first to see how much I need. Now you could do it this way, or you can make a cheese sauce and then add it to this. Like a queso, take your cheese, take your little bit of butter and flour, make a roux, and make a nice thick sauce. But we're not doing it that way. We're doing it the easy peasy way. I'm going to add just a little bit more salsa. This is from the jar I just had to open. I need a tiny bit for the top. All right, that's all mixed together. We're going to go over and start assembling. That's good. All right, let's move on over. This part can go any old kind of way you want. I also greased the pan, by the way. You could, oops, put that one in there already. You could flop it in, or you can cut it and kind of make it fit a little better. And I think that's what I want to do. I just want to cut it in half and then put something down the middle, or buy the size that fits. I don't know. And just go around like that. Just like that. And then I'll put like a little tiny piece over there. Probably should have cut a couple at one time, but I didn't. All right, let's go from there. Just piece it in there, get it to fit some kind of way. Don't really matter. And it doesn't have to fit all the way around if you don't want it to. I want it to, because I'm just strange like that. Just at least for the bottom. So I'll be able to get it up. So now you're gonna take half of your mixture, or a third, depending on how many layers you want to make. Mine made quite a bit, so we'll see. So we're going to put this down. Oh, I have to get my cheese. I put it back in the refrigerator while I was cooking. Okay. Just got to smush her around. Oh, my timer just went off from my oven. Now what you could do is add a little bit more salsa in this way, but I'm not going to. That's a big old chunk. I'm going to do it only on the top. That's why I was saying you could make a roux and then add your cheese and some heavy whipping cream and then pour the liquid cheese on it. I'm not going to do that though. It's way more steps than I need to do right now. It's getting late. So we're going to take some cheese, sprinkle it on top. As much or as little as you want. I'm trying to get my 2 cups to last. See if I can do it that way with this one. Oop. See, that's why I said there's no perfect way to do it. You can do it however you want. And repeat. You're going to repeat it for this one, but the next one you're not going to do the same way. Let me get this layer done, and then I'll show you what we're going to do. All right, well, I underestimated how far that meat was going to go with the rice in it. It left quite a bit, so I have enough to make a little bit more. I was trying to decide on if I should go on another layer or just do it in a different pan. I think I'm going to do it in a different pan. So what you're going to do here is you're going to take some of your salsa. You don't have to. This is me being extra. And I'm going to put some salsa down. So if you ran out of salsa, that's fine. Smear it around just to get a little extra flavor. And this was 2 shells that did the top. I cut edges off of it. All right, and then we're just going to add the cheese to the top of this. A little bit more salsa. Oop, that was too much. Oh well, we'll smear it around. We'll make it work. Okay. So it's just all smeared around. And I'm just going to put a little bit of cheese. I'm going to be honest, I went a little bit heavy on that second row and I had to get a little extra cheese because I didn't think I had enough to finish off the top. So I got a pinch more. Just stuck my hand in the bag and grabbed a little more. Trust me, if I didn't have enough, I'd have shredded something or whatever, or went back and took some out. All right, that's that. You can sprinkle a little bit of taco seasoning over the top of that if you'd like, just for the pretty. I'm going to make whatever I can make with the leftovers, and we'll see how far that goes. All right, that made a whole pie tin. There's only 3 circles in there. I did have to use extra cheese for this one, though, but if I would have used a bigger pan, I could have put it all in. But I did use a 9x13 on the original first one. So that's going to go in the oven, and I'll show you what it looks like when it comes out. That's what Eric's look like before it goes in the oven. Alrighty, this is Eric's. Boom! Look at that! I can't wait to get ours out of the oven. There goes the second one I made. Let me get out the first one. All right. Had to let that sit for a minute because I was afraid I was going to get a burn. Oh, yeah. Look at that. All right. Let me plate that up. I think I'm probably just going to meet you at the table. I don't know, though. Let's see if you can see down inside of my slice here. Hold on. Check that out. Yummy, yummy, yummy. All right, I'm going to finish plating this up, and then I'm going to meet you at the table. And that's my plate for tonight. I'm not really that hungry, but that's what the kids are eating as well, only a larger portion.
If you get any benefit at all from my content, you can help me out by clicking like, share, commenting, and definitely hit that subscribe button. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so you'll be notified every time I upload a new video.
We're at the table. So, Eric said he wasn't very hungry, but he had half of his thing. I got a piece. It doesn't look that big on camera, but to me it's big. And I got a piece of corn that I showed you I cut up to stretch 4 ears of corn for all of us. So we're gonna give it a taste, and then we'll give it a taste with extra salsa. Yours looks better than ours. Oh my goodness. Okay. That was for the salsa. Good. I'm having a heck of a time here. You tell I just woke Eric up. He was napping. Ooh, mine's sliding all over. Hold on. I didn't bring myself a knife, but I got a fork and a spoon. Okay. Ready to go? Mm-hmm. I'm ready. Set, go. Mm. Mm. This is one of my favorite flavors. You like it? Mm-hmm. Mm. If I had some sour cream, that might be good too. Take it a little bit, dip a little bit of salsa on the top. Right there. I didn't want you to mind the saying, because if I used my fork, then you would have a problem. Got mine. Ready? Go. Mmm. Mmm.
That's good.
Which way you like it better?
Plain.
I think I do too. Maybe not as much salsa, because you get more flavor if it's plain. With the salsa, it more tastes like salsa. Right? Alright. Well, I guess you could eat your dinner and go back to sleep. I'm gonna get the others fed and see what they think about it. I bet you they'll have a lot more woo over it than he does. That's because he's tired though. Alright. See you later. Bye. Dinner's over. How do we do? Boom. Now, before I say anything, this is Eric's. He completely finished it. Trey hasn't eaten yet. I'm going to be putting that piece up for him. But we still have this whole other one sitting right there. There are some who want a third helping, but we're doing this first. And I'm sure at least half of that will be gone. So, let's see what they thought about it. Nick, what'd you think about dinner?
It was amazing.
Yaya?
It was delicious and I do want more.
You were the one I was thinking of. Aiden?
I really loved it.
Awesome.
It was amazing.
Eric?
It was amazing.
Tyler?
It was great and fantastic.
All right. Here comes Justin. Well, she's getting ready to go. Go ahead, Jesse. What'd you think about dinner?
Taco Bell, good.
Taco. Wow, that was a good one. All right. Blaze, what did you think?
I thought it was really good.
Awesome. I thought it was absolutely delicious. I'm not a sour cream fan, but I bet you it would have been great on top of that. But other than that, I thought it was absolutely delicious. So there you have it. I hope you try it. I hope you like it. Leave me a comment either way. See you later. Bye.